my father, who was, real American type American, successful businessman,
Put your mask on. Fellas, I hate you. Put your fucking mask on.
put a great deal of money,
I have an immune system.
Are you having a stroke?
a great deal of
Do you
cash.
need medical assistance?
Everything that we say is the American way of going after gold. That's the thing. Most of family.
Let's see an example from the nation where we stand with our first responders, we do not defund, and we actually give them more money to be able to have more training and more support. I am Joshua Freed. I appreciate your vote. May God bless you, and God bless the police here in Seattle and across Washington. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey, the next candidate we have up is Marty Mcclendon, candidate for Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, Marty, for coming.
Well, good morning, everybody, and God bless everybody. God bless our police department as well. I do want to say this: we're here this morning because we know it's the right thing to do. We know we're in a city. The number one thing for government to do at the state level, the county level, and the city level is to keep us safe. Protect our neighborhoods, make sure that we can raise our kids, go to school, you name it. And yet, defunding the police would do just the opposite, would make us less safe. I have many of my friends that I've grown up with that are police officers here at the Seattle Police Department, and I know that they leave their house every single day not knowing if they'll come home. Their families, their kids, their wives, wondering. They pray for them, and we should pray for them as well. So every one of the police departments that's listening right now, we honor you. We thank you for being our first responders. We're taking this line of duty. What we should be doing as your public servants, as those in government service, should be fully protecting and fully funding, but also give them every tool they need in order to keep our community safe. Bottom line is they've gotten less safe, as Josh already said. So if you would not mind, please join me in praying for our police department right now, okay? Just bow your head. So Father, we give you glory and we thank you for this morning. We thank you, Lord, as the city council is doing something that I know is not good for the police department. We lift up every man and woman that served in the uniform in the police department in Seattle, all across the state, Lord, State Patrol and SPD. We ask, Lord, you protect them as they serve. We ask, Lord, that you provide for them. We ask, Lord, that you would turn the hearts and the minds of those in elected office, Lord, to fully support. Because, Lord, the men, women, and children across the state and this city need protection. You need security so we can go about our daily life, Lord. So we give you glory and praise. We ask, Lord, you bless their families and keep them safe in Jesus' name. Amen. So I am with this. I am running for office, and as Lieutenant Governor of the state of Washington, my opponents on the left side have already committed to defunding the police. I am absolutely opposed to that. I will do everything in my power as Lieutenant Governor to bring attention to fully supporting our police departments, our first responders, giving them the training and the money they need to untie their hands to actually enforce the law. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. And next, do we have Jeremy Kirshner here from the 31st District? He's not here yet. We'll go to Carrie French, who's going to speak both for herself and for another woman running in the 33rd District. Thank you, Carrie.
Good morning. Isn't it amazing we have people like this in King County? Woo! Well, my name is Carrie French, and I have been living in King County for about a year after spending 20 years in the military, but I'm running as a write-in candidate because I think temporary insanity took over, but I just could not stand seeing the other folks running unchallenged. So I am running as a write-in candidate. If you live in SeaTac, Berrien, Des Moines, Kent, write me in and I'll get on the ballot. But I am here speaking today for my potential seatmate, Marlita Melzer, who is a libertarian. And we are both running in District 33. I'm running for position 1, she's running for position 2. She had a family emergency that came up that she could not be here, but her heart is with everybody and here and with the police. So I'm going to read her speech. I came here today to speak with you about the sheriff. Sheriff's Office. It's come to my attention that King County Council would like to appoint our sheriffs rather than have them elected as they are now. The problem as I see it is that currently sheriffs are supposed to be beholden to we the people rather than to mayors or governors, which supports Section 1 of our Washington State Constitution that says all political power is inherent in the people.
Yeah.
And governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed and are established to protect and maintain individual rights. If our sheriffs become appointed, they are no longer beholden to we the people, but rather to the King County Council. We know how that's going to go. We would like to give, this would give more power to the government, which is opposite from the direction we should be heading. All of our elected officials are supposed to follow their constitutional oaths, including sheriffs, yet many do not. As well, we need for our sheriffs and other governmental representatives to be more responsive to us. Even the King County Sheriff's Office, which is in my district, does not follow their oath of office, for if they did, we would have arrested our governor. I haven't read this. And Seattle's mayor for giving away 6+ blocks of Capitol Hill. It was not theirs to give away. And there was zero protection for the people and the businesses who had made it their home. Kishonda Sawant should have been arrested for taking protesters into the City Hall after hours and for threatening the safety and well-being of the mayor. Attorney General Bob Ferguson should have also been arrested for failing to support his constituency by bringing suit to these people. So crazy. As well, our police departments are supposed to follow their oaths of office, which begins by upholding our constitutions, our state and our federal. While many do, there are those bad apples, so to speak, as there are in most disciplines, who don't perform their duties with integrity. Those officers have been much protected by their union. This is not in the best interest of us taxpayers. The chief of police in every community should have the ability to hire and fire as needed based on performance or lack thereof. With respect to the funding, no. Reevaluating size and boundaries, maybe. Does anyone remember reading on the police cards, to serve and protect? Whatever happened to that? Does anybody remember why police were ever assigned to schools and other public places? Because there were school shootings and other crimes that were sensationalized on media until everyone was screaming for more police protection. So if society were to become more lawful, it would make sense to decrease police departments. In light of so many things, I believe there is a need for police reform, such as ending qualified immunity. We should be responsible for our actions both on and off the job. We should nullify all unconstitutional laws like those involved in victimless crimes. So in closing, please do your part to keep political power inherent in the people. This November, I urge you to oppose the ballot measure that removes the power of our sheriffs from the people and reassigns it to the King County Council. Tell them that even their powers are inherent in us, and they best not forget it.
There we go.
Remember, the Sheriff's Office is our last defense of freedom. Please don't throw it away. Thank you. Marlisa Melzer, District 33, Position 2, and Terry French, write-in candidate, District 33, Position 1. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Carrie and Marlisa. And we have one other candidate who is, well, I'll tell you what. I'm a candidate. I'm running in the 46th District, Position 2, which is Northeast Seattle, Lake Forest Park, and Kenmore. And I'm running to make a difference, and here I am. So this is part of what I'm doing to make a difference in my district and in King County. Thank you. Also, Adam Bartholomew is here. He said he had just had to come from work, but he'll give a quick shout out. Adam Bartholomew is running in the 1st District. Thanks very much.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming out. It's an amazing group for downtown Seattle. You guys can see all of the opposition out here. All these people, their parents haven't told them that the police are actually here to help us. They're our friends. And my parents worked really hard to teach me that. I'm working really hard to instill that into my son as well. and I think everybody needs to do that. We need to have people that are going to be actually teaching this to our children. We need to have a mandate for this kind of thing, teaching our children patriotism, teaching our children the truth about the police. I think we actually do have that mandate in our education code right now, but it's not being enforced. Instead, they're mandating insane things like sexuality. The Democrats want to sexualize our children. They want to defund the police. They want to destroy our very way of life, everybody. You guys have all heard of AOC? AOC recently said that life without the police would be like life in the upper class suburbs. That'd be like Silver Lake. Common sense tells the rest of us that without the police, the suburbs wouldn't be the ideal utopia that they are perceived to be. Right? The two go hand in hand. We have to support our police. Our interactions with the police are only as good as we make them. If we treat the police poorly, then if we resist the police, if we talk back to the police, guess what's going to happen? The same thing that happened if I ever talked back to my father. Got a little spanking. Well, a grown-up spanking is you get arrested, you get dealt with by the police. Our interactions with the police are only as good as we make them. They're only going to be as good as we make them. We need to teach that to our children. We need to teach our children to sit down and listen and do what the police are telling us to do. Okay? They interact with the rest of society at the worst part of their lives. We don't need social workers replacing our police officers. As a former foster parent, I can tell you we do not want social workers replacing our police officers. So thank you guys for showing up. There's another rally up in Everett today at about 5 o'clock at the Everett Courthouse to reopen Washington. It's going to take all of us electing people like Joshua Freed to office, who's going to limit the governor's responsibility, the governor's powers over the economy. All jobs are essential, and it's going to take all of us. It's going to take each and every one of us activating our friends and family and the people around us to reopen Washington permanently. Thanks for showing up, guys.
Thank you. It's Adam Bartholomew in the 1st District. Thank you. I think we have a few other candidates who are going to be coming a little bit later. Like I said, it's the weekend before the primary. There's a lot going on. And are there any other candidates that are here right now that would like to speak? Okay. So we will have more. Jasmine has some statements from some people that I think we should really listen to. Jasmine?
Pretty awesome.
So these are letters from people who were in law enforcement or friends or family with law enforcement. This is our first one. Letter from a law enforcement survivor who wishes to remain anonymous due to their work condition. Defunding SPD, as proposed by Seattle City Council, is, at best, a reckless proposition. At its worst, it will be a death sentence for many. On paper, it sounds great to say, armed police officers are not needed for traffic stops, or a social worker is the better person to respond to a domestic dispute. But the very unfortunate reality is that police officers are necessary for these and many other situations. The common phrase is, there's no such thing as a routine traffic stop. I know this for a fact. My father, while conducting a seemingly routine traffic stop, was murdered. So let's say that that's what he signed up for. And in a way, that's true. Had he been given the choice of an innocent citizen being murdered or himself, he would have said, choose me, send me. There's a reason why fire and EMS personnel wait for police officers to clear many scenes. Police are necessary. Without SPD, Seattle will become a place that will no longer attract tourism dollars, big business, or wealthy housing investors. That seems to be the goal of the council, but without the tax base offered by each of these, Seattle will undoubtedly struggle to survive. Before targeting such a drastic proposition, each member of the council should do a free ride alongside, participate in a shooting simulator, and heck, just sit down and have a conversation with Chief Beth or any of the officers. Additionally, this is an issue that should be voted on by the citizens if we're back.
the shootings down in Belltown that happened to be in the last year.
I just want to give a thank you so much, Jasmine, for bringing those. Those are incredibly important because they know what really goes on in police work. They do have to deal with a lot of things that we don't have to deal with, and we're so thankful that they take care of that. I want to give a shout out to a couple people, and I hope they don't mind, but they're people who let us know what's going on. They're people who have stood up in Seattle and in other places to bring the truth about what's going on, maybe in videos, maybe in stories that we might not have heard otherwise. And one of them, I just want to give a shout out to David Preston, who is here. Thank you very much for all your reporting on Seattle. It makes a difference, and it helps organize us and with Safe Seattle and other groups. And we appreciate that so much. Thank you. And another person who is here, who's doing some reporting here, is Katie Daviscourt. And I have to say, I've been watching her videos. She's been reporting from Seattle, from Portland, letting us know what really happens when the media doesn't necessarily give us those videos. So you'll probably see her wandering around. So let's give a big shout out to Katie Daviscourt.
Woo! Katie!
And she's reporting on this so that other people can hear what we have to say and how we have spoken up and been loud. Thank you. And if other candidates come, let us know. You know, it is just so important that we have come up. And there's more signs over here that people have brought to share if you guys want to hold them and shout. It sounds like we have some visitors across the way, but
Born in the USA, perfect.
I just have to say I am just so thankful for everybody who's come out. I'm thankful for, you can look on our Facebook page and see the candidates and politicians that have responded to my emails. And like I said, I sent them to both parties. And you can see who's responded and said that they agree with our 4 very simple points. So you can see that there. I know that there's a couple people coming in about 20 minutes, but this is a great crowd, and I appreciate you coming. Jasmine, would you like to read another? Do you have another story that you wanted to bring from another law enforcement family? Thank you.
This letter is from Brenda Donner, a law enforcement survivor and former board member of Washington State Cops, an organization supporting law enforcement survivors. I am the daughter of a fallen officer who died in a vehicle pursuit. The reason he was in pursuit? He was trying to apprehend someone who chose not to follow the law. I have a friend who also lost her father in the line of duty. He was murdered when he stopped a vehicle with expired tags, occupied by people with lengthy criminal records who chose not to follow the law.
Thank you.
I am friends with the mother of a fallen officer, murdered by someone who was angry because his girlfriend broke up with him. I am friends with the fiance of an officer killed in a domestic violence incident. Defunding the Seattle Police Department will invite and encourage additional incidents such as the ones mentioned. People who chose not to follow the law will not suddenly be reformed if the Seattle Police Department is defunded. By proposing and advocating the defunding of SPD, Seattle City Council clearly desires a lawless society. It is astonishing that a department that mere months ago was on the verge of being removed from federal oversight is suddenly so bad that they must be defunded. What happened in Minneapolis did not happen in Seattle. However, Marxist and communist Seattle City Council members, along with vested interest groups salivating over potential big bucks in their coffers, came together to devise this ill-advised plan, which will lead to more lawlessness. How many council members have done even one ride-along with Seattle Police? How many have taken the city or county citizens police academy? Yet they are prepared to defund. This is insanity. I urge Seattle City Council to listen to the will of people and other than the rabid rioters and those with harmful agendas. Hear us loud and clear. Defend, not defund, Seattle Police.
And we have another candidate from the 37th District, Stephen Richter. Come on up. Thank you. Stephen Richter from the 37th. What do we have now?
District 37 goes over by Lake Washington. He's from here. And it's not very friendly to pro-life candidates, so I decided, even though I'm just a person, I'm going to die. My signs are disappearing pretty quickly from the streets, so don't expect to see a lot of Stephen Richter signs around. But I definitely support the police. I'm offering information to people who want to know what's behind all this. So here's a special report from the New American explaining how these people are just Marxists trying to overthrow our police and our whole government. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen Richter. Huh? What about this? Can you hear me? Woo! You know what? I just think we need to again say what we think of defunding the police. What do we think of that? No! What do we think of closing jails? No! What do we think of limiting the sheriff's authority? No! What do we think of making the sheriff appointed by King County Council? No! Thank you. Yeah, that's the First Amendment.
Do we love our police? Do we love our police?
We love our police.
Yeah!
We appreciate all that they do to keep us safe. You know, I have to say, I called the police just a couple weeks ago. But we have a place out of the way, a long driveway, and all of a sudden there was a strange man in my backyard wandering around. And it was pretty scary, especially I knew I had a window open because it was hot. And called the police, and I was so thankful for them to come. And, you know, they came, and this man was wandering around, and kind of hospital pajamas on, and they talked to him. They just talked to him for like 20 minutes until an ambulance arrived, and they determined that he probably came out of a hospital recently, probably needs to get checked out, and he got loaded up and taken away by ambulance. So thankful that the police were there to take care of him, to take care of me, and to keep other neighbors safe. It's not safe for someone in that condition to be wandering in other people's yards. And it's not safe. He needed help as well. I'm so thankful for the Seattle police to be doing that. Let's say thank you to the police. Do we want the police to be able to show up when we call them?
Yes!
Yes, we do. What do we think? Do we want equal rights for everyone?
Yeah!
Yes. And for anybody who says that we don't, it's a lie. Just tell them, that's a lie. I want equal rights, I want justice, I want equal treatment for everyone. And that's why we back our police, that's why we back our sheriff. And we want them to have the ability to keep protecting us and to have the funds and the reinforcements they need to not be stretched so thin that they can do their duty and in the safest way possible. Yes, and we should have a place that when they arrest a murderer or a rapist or someone who's just violently assaulted someone, we should have a place to put them safely. They should not be back on our streets until they go through the justice system. So to close our jails is just the most insane, thank you very much, most insane idea ever. And I don't know what, I mean, the Dow Constantine has a guarded, gated place he lives, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But I worry about people who don't have that. I worry about people who don't have all the protection. They don't live in a gated community. They don't live in a secure building. They don't have all those resources. They are the ones who are going to be hurt the most by this radical experiment of defunding the police. Because a radical experiment will hurt the vulnerable the most, will hurt the poor communities the most. And
that's right. That's right.
Thank to our fire department as well. How many of you are here, you live in Seattle?
Yeah!
I do. How many of you live in King County? How many of you think that defunding the police and hurting the sheriff will hurt all of King County?
Yeah!
Thank you. And if you want to hang out for a little while, we should have some other candidates coming and speaking. But thank you so much. Let's show our signs. Let's let people know that we're here and we're loud and we're not going to be silent anymore. Not anymore.
Right.
Woo!
Somebody here who wants to speak? Anyone?
They're intimidating crowds.
I just want to say I'm proud of all of you for being here.
Joshua, free
You need to
show.
stand up to
Doesn't
these
matter.
bullies because that's what they are. Cancel culture is out of control. It's in our schools. Denise Juneau, the Seattle Public School Superintendent, is I don't even want to say it. In 10 years, my daughter's peers will be voters, and they're indoctrinating our students with these crazy Marxist ideas. And we all need to stand up. We need to post on Facebook what you believe. You need to make a stand. I came outside the other night in Queen Anne, I heard some noise. Came outside, there was a Black Lives Matter protest going by. I was standing on the corner, more than 20 feet away from anybody, just recording with my phone. And I was confronted aggressively, flashlights in my face, told not to record. And I heard after that, there was another man that was doing the same thing. He was hit over the head, knocked out cold. These are not peaceful protesters.
Right.
They are anarchists that want to destroy our country, and we need to take a stand now.
Yeah!
I also want to say, if you really think social workers can replace the police department, just think about what Susan Powell's boys went through with the social workers standing by. If a police police officer had been there, he would have broken the door down and shot Josh Powell. That didn't happen, so those two boys died. And not only that, we have to pay $98 million, the state of Washington, to the grandparents of those boys. So if we had $98 million to give to the police officers for better training, they would have been able to help that social worker prevent such a disastrous event.
That's right.
Hey everyone, in just a second I'm going to say God bless America. But I found this card on the ground and it's thanking the Seattle police officers. And if you want to come sign the outside of the envelope, that'd be great. I'm going to put it right here. We have some blank cards. Okay. There's blank ones to fill out too. So if you want to join me, God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Okay, so I have no plan to speak today. I'm not good at speaking, but I'm going to have to say something. Okay, I'm Vietnamese immigrant. I'm Asian, I'm minority, and I'm all for police. Okay, so we have Mr. Preet here for the police department to stop the defunding, and that is we need to help him get elected so that we can change it, get Inslee out of the Olympia, Inslee out, and then also one more thing. I know communists. I know it very well. So I know Antifa. I know socialists. I know leftists. Don't let them take over. Please, don't let them do that. This is my second country, so I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to stay here. I know this country.
I'm a veteran and a citizen. We all here are citizens. It is our right and our obligation to vote and to peaceably assemble for the redress of our grievances. We are here to tell our government that we depend upon our police department, the law enforcement officers throughout our community, to be the front line. However, our society and our rights are not safe unless we all participate as we're doing today. Encourage your friends, vote. Comrades of mine gave their lives that we would have the right to peaceably change the government in the ways that we see fit. We need to honor their sacrifice by taking the time as we are today, by voting and participating in other manners. I can tell you, my comrades, black, brown, any color, any religion, of any country of birth, all of them bled red, just as our law enforcement officers do. That is our unity. We are together. Please continue doing your civic duties. Vote and participate. Thank you.
Good morning. A lot of people would call this a little bit of housekeeping, but in reality, this is a little bit of community keeping. before you leave here today, I want you to all to understand we made a little promise to the law enforcement folks that are here, the Seattle Police Department folks that were here when we set up. We would leave this plaza today better than we found it. It's community keeping. It's our community. We love it. And when I say our community, it's our with a big O. I live in Woodinville. I see people here from Kenmore, a fellow from Tacoma earlier. It's our community. Take care of it. When we leave here, if you see a little bit of litter, pick it up. Don't leave signs around. We told them we would leave it better than we found it. So before you go home today, take care of this community. Pick up behind ourselves. We are not, I told them, one of the differences between us and the other demonstrators is we don't leave a mess behind. So don't leave a mess.
I'm a teacher, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. Everything that we do and need to know for life is better caught than taught. So we have to do for our children and our grandchildren so that they will know how to be lawful citizens, how to be respectful, how to respect the aged, how to respect authority, how to respect their teachers, how to respect themselves, how to protect their bodies from being violated. We have to set an example. As a teacher, I watched our school system go down the tube. Then I went to a Christian school, and it was going down the tube because money has become so important. We have to get our values straight from heaven. God is the ruler of this earth, and the fear of God is the beginning point of wisdom. If we do not have that right, all this wonderful stuff that we're doing here will not work either, because God must be put in his proper place. We put him out first, and now we're having to fight to get him back in, because he is a God of order. But not just that, he's a God of love, incredible love. His love is what puts things in order, because his love is not punitive. His love is saving love. His love is a redeeming love. His love is a healing love. We need God back in our country. We need God back in our schools. We need God back in our families. We need God back in our hearts. And right now, I would like to say a prayer. If anybody agrees with me, Lord, we repent for kicking you out of our society, out of our families, out of our culture, out of our country. And we are so regretful of it. And now today, we bend our knee to you and no one else. And we say, God, forgive us. And please, come back in. We need you desperately. And we know that when we cry, you said in your word, if you cry unto me, I will hear your call and I will answer you. You are faithful and you are good. And we receive your salvation right now, and your forgiveness and your redemption and your salvation from the wrongs that have been perpetuated. And we thank you, mighty God, that you are bringing law and order back to our hearts, to our families, and to our country. Amen.
Actually, she was asking a little bit ago who was from Seattle, who's from King County, and we actually came pretty far. Okay. We actually came pretty far. We're not from King County. We're not from Seattle. We're several hours south, and we came up here because we come very often to Seattle. My daughter here was diagnosed about 8 years ago at the age of 7 with her first brain tumor, and we come up to Seattle to go to Children's, and she got her second one, and so we're in Seattle very often. We've been attacked by protesters in our car. We've gotten in a car accident here, and we've lived at Ronald McDonald House several times to where we've had to call on medical aid. So we've relied on not just the police department here, but on first responders. But so our protection in Seattle is important to us. We don't feel we're safe with going to Portland Children's, and there's no other options. And families in the area rely on Seattle Children's, and we want to feel safe going here. But another important thing, Seattle PD he does that a lot of people don't know about is on Christmas Eve, the families living at the Seattle Children's. You feel alone. You're not with your family. You're sick. Your kids are sick. And the police department comes on their motorcycles and they give you an escort to a cruise ship. It's not like a big one, but a little one. And they take you on a dinner. They serve you. They serve your kids. Chief Best was there. She sat and talked with your kids, and she had a shaved head. She had scars all over, and the police officers aren't looking at that. They're there with their horses. They're there with their dogs. They could be home with their families on Christmas, but they're there with their kids, and they're not just there out of sympathy. And for that one night, it doesn't feel like you're not thinking about what's going on. You're just thinking about, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like a break from reality and what's going on. And it's not city council doing that. It's not members of government. The police officers there are doing it out of the kindness of their heart. And I hate to see programs like this be broken. It might seem like a little thing, but to these families, it means everything. And it's not, you know, I don't know how else to explain it, but I'm so thankful for the Seattle PD, what they do. And I hate to see programs cut, and I hate to see families feel unsafe living at Ronald McDonald House, because there's been, in the area there, we used to be able to walk to and from the hospital, and now it's not even safe to be in that area walking no more. And that's just been in the last few years, and if it gets worse, it's hard for families. We need to be safe coming to and from this hospital because it saves lives.
Wow, what an important reminder that what happens in Seattle affects so many other people who need to come into Seattle for help and for care, and for many other things. We'd hope that they feel safe coming into the city for recreation, but especially we need to protect those who need to come in for care. And we need to protect, and we want to thank our Seattle police officers. Let's just give them a round of applause.
SPD! 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 SPD!
And if you are like me, a minority, speak up. You don't have to agree with what they tell you, like, and our voices need to be heard. I really think that everyone here has the right to voice their opinion, but I know that they're not going to listen to everyone here, unfortunately, because of the way that we look. So I just think if you have any color to your skin and your voice is going to carry more weight, please speak up, because they need to hear all of us.
Thank you so much for that reminder. And you know what? It's a reminder. I have to say, I think it's the most racist thing ever to say that if your skin is a certain color, you have to believe a certain thing.
I actually like
Anybody
I actually like what you said.
equal rights
Beautiful.
in everything.
Here's the man.
That's what I'm going to stand for every day. You know what? One thing that we didn't do,
Yeah, make America great again.
To do is to pledge allegiance. We have some wonderful flags here. If we can just do that, and you hold your flag up high. If you have a flag, let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's say those last 5 words again. With liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Greetings. Hi, I'm Lloyd. I worked for the crisis clinic for 4 years, and I know that there are times, as well trained as a social worker or crisis worker is, that they will need police backup. So if somebody says, let's go in and de-escalate these situations where you've got somebody on meth, somebody who's violent, the idea of just sending somebody in there to talk to them is good, but the truth is it does not work. You're going to have somebody back there that can restrain some of these people for their safety and for the safety of those around them. So the idea of defunding the police is ludicrous. It's just something that's asinine. So let's support our police. Let's let them know they're supported, not just today, but tomorrow. If you see one, thank a policeman for their service. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Caleb Heimlich. I'm the chairman of the Washington State Republican Party. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here today, for sending a loud and clear message that we support our brave men and women in law enforcement. And so we're so grateful for you. We're so grateful for all of them, of what they do to keep our communities safe. This issue in Seattle is absolutely critical to the future of Washington State, because it's not just about Seattle. It's coming to Puyallup, it's coming to Linwood, it's coming to Kent. So wherever you live in Washington State, we have to stand up, we have to speak out. It's ludicrous. We can't allow the radical left to push this agenda and leave our communities vulnerable. So thank you for being here. Please vote. Get your ballots in by Tuesday. There is one party that stands for the rule of law, for justice for everyone, that stands for police, and that's the Republican Party. So please vote for Republicans, and let's get our state back on the right track where right is right and wrong is wrong, and we stand for the people that are keeping us safe. So thank you very much for being here. Please vote before Tuesday, and let's get our state back this November. Thank you.
I wasn't going to speak at all today, and my wife would probably be upset that I am. But I want to speak real quick to anybody on the other side who supports defending the police. My wife is really a non-political person. My wife hates controversy. My wife will not really voice her opinion very much because she so appreciates and has friends on both sides of the aisle that the last thing she ever wants to do is hurt somebody's feeling. My wife understands that people who want to defund the police, some are coming from a place of wanting to destroy our country, and I think that's important for us to know. But I think some come from a place of fear, and they really are afraid, and they don't know how to react. But I want to speak to those who want to defund the police on behalf of my wife today. My wife is scared. We talked about it last night. For me, it's more of a political issue. For my wife, it's a fear issue. My wife is afraid. My wife is afraid that if the police are defunded, that if somebody tries to come into our house, that she won't have any help. My wife is afraid that when I travel for work, that she's not safe at home. My wife loves this city. I wanted to move 20 years ago. My wife, for the first time, has said we may have to move because she is afraid. Does the police maybe need to change how we allocate some resources? Yeah, maybe. Is policing different today than it was 20 years ago? I'm certain it is. But if we're going to talk about how we best serve our country, our city, our state, let's do so in a thoughtful, planned manner, taking into account all situations, the safety of its citizens, and let's do so as a thoughtful decision, not as a knee-jerk reaction about something that happened that we're upset about, and therefore we end up creating a much bigger problem than what might be today. Let's be thoughtful, Washington. Let's be thoughtful, King County. Let's pay attention to what we do. Look around downtown. I haven't been downtown in almost a year. I'm turning to my grandpa. He says there's no reason to go downtown. I'm sad. I'm sad at what our downtown looks like. And if what we're doing right now is making our city better, then great, let's keep doing it. But if you look around and see that our city is not better than what it was, is it not cleaner? Is it not safer? Is it not a good place to raise your kids? Then let's change what we're doing and do something different. We cannot defund our police and have a safe environment. I'm going to tell you one last quick story. My son, about maybe a month and a half ago, before the whole George Floyd incident, my son is 18 years old. Him and his friend were attacked by somebody at a McDonald's. It took almost 2 hours for the police to get there. We had to keep calling. They were spread thin. Do you think it's going to get any better if we cut them by 50%? No. Do not defund our police department. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I also wasn't planning on speaking today, but I feel like I want to say some things. A couple of months ago, I was actually marching with those people who are counter-protesting with us today, because I was going with the mainstream media. I was just going with the flow. Everyone was saying that defunding the police will make our cities look like a suburb, as AOC says. Because it's easy to just believe Hollywood, to believe the mainstream media, believe what everyone's telling you. But if you actually do your research, you realize that it's all lies. They're being bamboozled. They don't even realize it. In a perfect world, we wouldn't need police because there wouldn't be any criminals. But unfortunately, that's not the case. There is criminals. There is evil out there. We need someone to protect us from it. I'm also a Latina, and I've been called a traitor. I've been called a disgrace to my Mexican race for defending the police, for speaking out. I was planning on being silent about my opinions about the police, but I decided I'm not going to be silent. I care more about the safety of the Americans than I do about losing my friends, which I did. I lost all my friends. My friends don't even talk to me anymore. They blocked me from Facebook. You get new friends! The crazy thing is, though, even though they're socialists, even though they go out protesting, I still love them. I still care about them. If they decide that they want to be my friend, I'll still be their friend. But for them, they're not open-minded. The left is supposed to be the open-minded people, the loving people, the understanding people, but it's not the case. If you don't 100% agree with them, they'll attack you, they'll bully you, they'll call you names as they've done to me. And these leaders who are supporting defunding the police, they don't care about the safety of the people, they only care about the safety of themselves. Just like the Minneapolis City Council who voted to defund the police, they spent $153,000 on their own private security. So they care about the security of themselves, but they don't care about the security of their people. They're traitors. And this also happened here in Seattle. Mayor Durkin did not do anything about Chaz until the protesters went to her home. That's when she stopped it.
Yep.
She didn't care that there was people in that neighborhood who were fearing for their lives, who had to stay at their friend's house. She didn't do anything when these people were scared for their lives, but yet when they come to their home, that's when she stopped it. And it's ironic because these people at Chaz it was a police-free zone, yet they made their own police. So they're hypocrites. And they know because they fear for their safety, so they had to make their own police. So I know it's scary to speak out, especially when you're scared to be bullied, but don't be afraid because the safety of our nation is more important than that.
Hi, my name is Karen. I live here in the city, which was once a beautiful, welcoming city. Now all we look at is boarded up windows, like the only one on the street, and when I do walk the street, I have to be very cautious. I just want to say Seattle deserves the best, and that's under the leadership of Chief Carmen Best. Woo!
Wow, that was perfect, because I was about to mention Chief Carmen Best. We lost in the city council race. I worked with my friends for 2.5 years trying to get a different city council, and we lost. Okay, so we're dealing with this. 7 out of the 9 city council members can do whatever they want, and our beloved mayor has no control. So they are very strategic. They are very organized, and okay, they won that round. I'm all about action. I mean, I agree with everything that's being said, but here's what we need to do. The only one that has any power right now and any control in this situation as to how funds are spent is Chief Carmen Best. And so we are so blessed to have her. She is the best, and we need to support her. So I would suggest that here's what I believe. We don't need to defund the police. We need to take in input from the community, and with Chief Best can designate where these funds go to improve things. We all there needs to be improvement. Okay, a community center. Okay, a committee for this or that. Let Chief Best designate where the money goes, which is, my understanding, is the only control we have at this point, is to, as a group, say, hold the line for us, Chief Best. You know, they're against you. You do what you can for us. So write her, support her, and she loves her officers. And for her to have to fire 800 officers, I mean, what kind of a world are we in? So I say, talk to Chief Best, and she can help designate, from the minimal I understand, that she can designate where some of these funds are going. Durkin has no power. That's practical stuff. Yes, we all agree. We are on the same page. Now let's do something. Because those kids out there, it's nothing today. I've experienced some things that are pretty strategic and organized. So be careful, everybody. We got to do this. Thanks.
Good morning. My name's Ava Levine. I am a social worker. I graduated